Hello from Vienna. I'm very fortunate today to be with the managing partner of Unit 42 at Palo Alto Networks, André Reichow Prehn. He's the leader of Palo Alto Networks is the leader of cybersecurity services globally, and André is in the lead for a very important part of the world, Central Europe, Southern Europe, and Latin America. It's a gigantic topic. It includes three big categories: global threat intelligence, incident and event response, and a remarkably advanced digital tool suite that we'll talk about a bit more. Consider that we are looking at 500 billion events a year and 2.3 million events per day, never seen before. It's such a pleasure to see you today, André. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what Unit 42 is.
Yes, of course. So Unit 42 is, in a nutshell, the security consulting part of Palo Alto Networks. It is represented by consultants that help clients during attacks and data breach situation. We consult also on the proactive advisory side, so help to detect and prevent those kind of events. And we have a big team of threat researchers that are investigating and monitoring different cybercrime group and state actors in ways of their methods and what they are up to.
With Palo Alto Networks, could you just comment a little bit about some of the highlights of 2024?
Yes, looking into 2024, we have seen already in 2023 that there is three major trends in regards of attack and threat landscape. First of all is the speed of the attacks is getting much faster. So we talk about hours recently in big scale attacks. We also have a scale of attacks, so there is hundreds of thousands of vulnerabilities used at a time for attacks simultaneously, and the level of sophistication of attackers see on the rise, also assisted by artificial intelligence possibilities that they are using and up to. What we also see is that AI as an attack vector, but also as a way of how to conduct attacks is increasing.
Very interesting. Given that we're at the next management forum for Peter Drucker. We have many knowledge worker leaders and managers. What do you recommend that they add to their toolkit now, given what's happening?
Yes. So first of all, you need to understand how these things are working and evolving. So you need some sensitivity to set this up in roles and responsibilities in the organization. The tools, talking about tools, is just a means to an end. So someone needs to understand how you are organized to protect sensitive data, how processes and structure is organized in a way. And to make use out of tools, you need to understand and be diligent about how you handle those things and be aware of what is evolving and understand why this is important as part of your risk portfolio.
Excellent, thank you. Take a moment to help us face the reality. The statistics are hard to digest, hard to understand. Could you give us an example, perhaps, of how bad it can get, and what cybersecurity forensics is starting to tell you, and what are the important lessons you have learned in the last year?
Yes. So what we have seen, and to give you another number, is basically that we react up to 1,000 attacks a year. And this is consisting of large corporations, SMBs, hospitals, state agencies. And when we are called, basically, it's always a bad situation. So we are in the forensics, we engage with the threat actors, and we help to mitigate and resolve those kinds of crises. What we see is the sheer amount of attackers that is using, on one hand, vulnerabilities that are up in the wild in scales of attack. We also see that they are using AI techniques for social engineering. This means they manipulate and persuade their targets to do certain things to get access to infrastructures. And what we also see is how bad it can get is the amount of numbers. So to give you one example, we have seen, I think, about 8 trillion of damages by cyber attacks in the last year. 200 billion in Germany alone is estimated. So this is the downside of what we see here.
So it sounds like this is a very big area with a lot of terminology. What should leaders do so they understand this topic better?
Yeah, so I think it's important to get a decent briefing every now and then in regards of what is happening and what is actually the risk exposition of everybody, and to make the specific decisions right on the risk side. So cybersecurity is top 3 risk on the executive level anyways, and to understand the relevance and the importance and what you can do about it, I think is important. And it's not that complex a dictionary to understand what is happening.
Peter Drucker was famous for sitting at his desk and looking out the window to see the future. Perhaps you could comment, without scaring us, what you think about what is happening with AI and AI agents.
Yes. So we see two things. First of all, it's a big opportunity in supporting and leveraging the work and improving what we are doing. But this is also something that attackers can take advantage of. So we have seen recently that AI agents that have in a company or in an organization a very high level of permissions in regards of data access and user rights to do what it does. And this is basically overriding what we call zero trust philosophy, meaning that you have to verify everything and you can trust any process or technology there. And attackers are using this kind of AI agents, which are autonomous bots basically, to get access, to escalate rights and to do their bad objectives with the help of those. They also use AI technology to set up the voice, the pictures, the videos, and the mails to basically persuade the victims to get access and to do a lot of this turbulency in regards of their objectives.
This sounds like a situation and with cybersecurity and doing things well where you need key partnerships and you need to collaborate globally. Could you talk a little bit about how Palo Alto Network is doing that and what companies can do working together?
Yes, of course. So first of all, there is a lot of programs going on in regards of information sharing. So Palo Alto Networks themselves, Unit 42, is part of a government exchange program. We have about 200 partnerships with different government agencies to give them information on what we see, to give them context, but also to exchange information from incidents, as an example, to get hold of the attackers, of the persons that are behind all this, to take them to jail and to take down infrastructure. And this is not an effort by just Palo Alto Networks, it's an industry effort, so there's a collaboration of a lot of our competitors and competimates. And looking into how we engage with clients is we give them a lot of briefings and information to their hands that they can understand what is happening and they can act and decide accordingly.
Thank you. In our last couple of moments, perhaps you could give some very direct advice. Let's start with the young people who are entering into career decisions and maybe are very into social media. Mm-hmm. And what advice would you give them about cybersecurity?
Yes, what advice would I give them? It's kind of a sensitivity on how to handle your own data, but also on the curiosity to understand how the systems we are using are actually working. So when we talk about digital natives lately, it's mostly that it's a competence as a consumer to swipe and click. But what we would like to see is more curiosity, more understanding of things are evolving, using communication the right way, which is also having a right level of communication, because handling an AI is also requiring that you are very specific and very clear on what you want from them. It's not only person-to-person engagement, which is also a relevant factor here, but curiosity and communication is two topics I would see for young people especially.
So let's go through the generations as people get older. What
Yes.
would you recommend to some of the older generations on how they can protect themselves in the current times?
Yes. So I think by experience that the evolution of emerging technology is not something that is surprising the more experienced people. So they have a good understanding of how they use the tools. They have a decent level of not trusting everything. And to be kind of critical with handling those. So I think giving them the understanding on how to use those things, what is the basics on how to use this securely is something that everybody can understand and follow, and the education and the constant awareness in using those kinds of tools, I think is something that can be expected and is helpful here.
Thank you. We're really glad Palo Alto Networks is doing so well and being so careful and teaching all of us. Any last comment for knowledge workers, roles that might be of interest in cybersecurity?
Yes, of course. I think it's relevant to stay updated on what is happening, to understand how tools are functioning, how you can prevent, how you can make sense from a government's perspective, from a process perspective, also from the technology side. And Palo Alto Networks is your partner of choice to help you there.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.